Just a heads up to everybody, the live stream is on.
Thank you, Carrie.
Can you hear me? Wendy, at 7:30, Warner.
Okay. Roll call. Mayor Bontempo,
Here.
Ms. Weber,
Here.
Mr. Catelli is not in attendance. Dr. Pascucci,
Here.
Prakash Santana.
Here.
Okay, Mayor, you have a quorum.
Thank you, Wendy. Everyone, please rise for the Pledge of Allegiance. I pledge allegiance to the flag
Of the United States of America and to the republic
for which it stands, one nation,
under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Everyone, please remain standing for a moment of silence to honor our troops, both home and abroad, who work tirelessly to protect us each and every day. Thank you. Wendy, first item is approval from the
May 26, 2020 executive and public sessions that were forwarded to the Township Committee on June 18th for their review and approval.
we have a motion.
Move.
Second.
Second.
Roll call, please.
Dr. Pascucci,
Yes.
Mr. Santana,
Yes.
Ms. Weber,
Yes.
Mayor Bontempo.
Yes.
The minutes have been successfully approved. Thank you.
Perfect. Next on the agenda is public comment for agenda items only. Any public comment on agenda items for tonight's agenda?
The first one here is Bill Castaning. Unmute.
Can you unmute, please, Bill?
Okay, do you hear me now?
Yep.
Please state your name. and
Okay, sure. It's Bill Casting. I live at 4 Tocaloosa Drive, Holmdel. And I am also the executive director with Monmouth Conservation Foundation, whose address is at 628 Middletown Lincroft Road, Lincroft, New Jersey. So I wish to comment on the resolution 2020-199, which allows for a period of time drive-in movie theater at Bell Works. And the reason I have a concern here is the resolution as written indicates that it would allow the drive-in movie until such time that the governor's restrictions are lifted. And Bell Works has been kind enough to allow Monmouth Conservation Foundation to have a drive-in movie theater fundraiser on September 26th. So I am concerned that there is this possibility, although remote, that the governor may lift the restrictions before September 26th. So I was wondering if you could address the resolution in such a way that it would allow us to use the drive-in movie theater, which is being provided gratis by Bell Works for our fundraising purposes.
Is Sharon on?
I am on. And
Okay.
Mike, I was going to defer to you. I think we could probably amend that language slightly to,
I guess the issue, Mr. Castaning, is that obviously the governor has provided municipalities through his executive orders with implied police powers to implement his executive orders. So the township committee has the power to make this approval pursuant to the ongoing state of emergency and public health emergency. I don't want to kind of give legal opinions here in public, but the committee would have to follow a more formal process, which may involve zoning and noise ordinance amendments if it wanted to allow an outdoor drive-in theater in the absence of the state of emergency. So I think that the resolution goes as far as feasible under the current state of affairs. I realize that may not provide you as much certainty as you're looking for, but I think it's duly noted your concerns, and if the state of emergency and public health emergency were to go away, which I think we'd all be happy about, the committee could certainly take further action to legalize, but it would be a different type of action rather than pursuant to the governor's EO.
Yeah, I've worked with Ralph Zucker and his team, and they are more than willing to accommodate our requests. The issue, though, is and the provider of the screens and what have you is willing to as well. So what I'm hearing from you, Mr. Collins, is that if the governor's restrictions were lifted, you would then take some action to allow this one-day event to occur on our behalf?
I can't make any promises, and I'm certainly not speaking for the committee. I guess what I was saying is that if the state of emergency and public health emergency were not in effect, I think the township would address the request in the normal course, which would require a review to determine if it's compliant with local zoning, and if not, what relief is needed from the local zoning. So I think you put this issue on the radar screen, and the township could certainly review it. September is obviously time away.
Okay, actually, we raised this as something we wanted to do at Bellworks maybe 4 to 6 weeks ago. I'm not sure we precipitated what is happening now, but we put it on their radar. So I would hope that the township committee would allow us to plan for that event. We are going to be sending out postcards notifying residents that this is something that we plan to do. And I would like some kind of assurances that it would happen so we don't waste our time, money, and energy, because then we'd have to find another venue.
Yeah, Bill, I could tell you that I don't think the township, I'll speak for myself, has any issue with helping support your fundraiser for your organization. You guys are a great organization. You do a lot of great work in Holmdel and around Monmouth County. So that's not a question. We have no control over the, obviously, Somerset and or the vendor that's providing the services. So if it comes to a time when, as our council said, where the executive order is changing, we could certainly look at, allowing your use of the, have the structure remain in place so your event could take place on that date. That's not an issue, but we can't control, obviously, the other two variables, which are Somerset and their vendor who is providing the services. But I think that the township committee overall is very appreciative of all the things you have done in the past and continue to do going forward. So I don't think that's an issue, and we continue to collaborate going forward in any meeting with any updates, and we'll certainly provide any updates that we get from the administrator and from council, out to the community, so you guys are aware of what we're hearing, fully transparent, so you know what's going on. But I don't think your ask is going to cause any issues in us being able to help accommodate.
Okay, so, all right. According to the attorney, you will amend the resolution to accommodate us at this time. Right?
I don't believe that would be accurate, Mr. Castaning. My recommendation to the committee would be to adopt the resolution as is, which is going to allow this to move forward. And I think what the mayor was just indicating to you is that if there is a change to the state of emergency or public health emergency, the committee at that time will entertain a further action to address the situation at that point in time. So given their willingness to do that, I think that they're trying to explain that you shouldn't be concerned about your specific.
No, okay,
And
I
Mike,
appreciate
I'd be
that.
happy I'd be happy to work with you, Mike, understanding that this does take planning. We all, I believe, unfortunately think we will still be under the state of emergency in September. But between now and our next TC meeting, Mike, maybe you and I can discuss how the TC has the ability to maybe give that specific end date.
Absolutely, and I don't want to create any impression that the township's trying to get to no on this one. In fact, I think the mayor made it clear they're trying to get to yes. I'm just speaking to the fact that the township's obviously limited in what it can or can't do based upon the governor's guidance.
No, I understand, and both the vendor and the Somerset are want to make this happen for us. So they're providing the services gratis to us, which is nice. Otherwise, we would have had to pay $8,500 for a similar type of.
I appreciate you bringing it to our attention because I didn't have the benefit of much background on the specific item in preparing the resolution. So I thank you for that.
And Bill, as for myself, I mean, I agree with our counselor. We should do what we have to do tonight. But in the future, if we need to do things to support you and your organization, you have my support.
No, I appreciate that, and thank
Yeah.
you. Thank you, everybody.
Yeah, likewise. So
Thank you, Bill.
there's no other hands up.
Okay. With that, take a motion for consent agenda items 2020-192 to 2020-201.
Move.
Who's second?
Second.
Thank you. Roll call?
Dr. Pascucci,
Yes.
Mr. Santana,
Yes.
Ms. Weber,
Yes, with a note.
Mayor Bontempo.
Yes.
Okay, so all of the resolutions 2020-192 to 2020-201 have been successfully passed. Next is introduction of ordinances. Ordinance 2020-12, which is approving real property conveyance relative to block 30.07, lot 27.8, which is 17 Wood Hollow Drive. Motion to adopt on first reading and publish in the Asbury Park Press and set public hearing for Tuesday, July 14th, 2020.
Move.
Second? Do we have second?
Second.
Roll call?
Dr. Pascucci,
Yes.
Mr. Santana,
Yes.
Ms. Weber,
Yes.
Mayor Bontempo.
Yes.
Okay, so the next order of business is the hearing on ordinance 2020-10, which is an ordinance of the Township of Holmdel, Monmouth County, State of New Jersey, to exceed the 2020 municipal budget appropriation limits and to establish a cap bank. Public hearing?
I would recommend the mayor open up the floor for public comment on the ordinance.
So for public comment on this ordinance 2020-10, are there any public questions, comments?
Helpful to give a description of what the cap bank is for the sake of the.
First, committeeman, why don't we just confirm there are no,
No,
There's no hands up.
okay, so at this point, I would suggest the mayor closing the public comment period on the ordinance, and then after a motion in a second, you could have discussion on the ordinance.
Okay, a closed public comment. Do I have a motion?
Move.
Second.
Okay, now you have discussion.
Bill, do you want to just give a recap of the cap bank?
Sure. The purpose of the cap bank is by statute, we're allowed to go up to 3.5%. It's usually dependent upon what the consumer rate index is. This year was 2.5%, but we can bring it up to 3.5% by ordinance. The purposes of this, we can bank money for our operations. So right now, our appropriations were below the appropriation cap of $440,000, $440,000 roughly. We can use this in the future. For example, if pensions go up, insurance goes up, there's no cap exceptions to that. So this gives us the ability to meet those future expenditures if needed.
you.
Any other
Thank you.
discussion from TC?
Nope.
None? Roll call?
Mr. Fratelli? I'm sorry, Dr. Pascucci?
Yes.
Mr. Santana?
Yes.
Ms. Weber?
Yes.
Mayor Bontempo?
Yes.
Ordinance 2020-10 has been successfully adopted. The next ordinance is 2020-11 is a bond ordinance providing an appropriation of $2,775,000 for the 2020 road improvement program in and by the Township of Holmdel and the County of Monmouth, New Jersey, and authorizing the issuance of $2,350,000 of bonds or notes of the township for financing part of the appropriation.
Open up for public comment on ordinance 2020-11.
There's no hands up.
Okay. Closed public portion. Are there any discussion from the Township Committee?
We need a motion first, right?
Yep.
Yeah.
Move.
Second.
Any discussion from Township Committee?
Mayor, if I just may, just so for everyone's edification, the proposed roads are published on our website under the Department of Public Works.
Good.
As if assuming this passes, as soon as we have funding in place, we will go out to bid and hopefully get that program up and going very quickly.
Commissioner, when do you think would be the soonest we'd be able to start? Sometime in July?
I hope probably later July. Just because we have to, the bid package is ready, so we can go out to bid. And just to be clear with everyone, these are the proposed roads. I have no idea how the bids are going to come in this year. Hopefully they're lower than expected and we get to do all of them. If they're higher than expected, we won't be able to do every road. But we will get that up and out in the next Wendy. We just have to do the public advertising and everything. We'll get it up right away. And as soon as we get those bid packages back, we'll get to work.
Thank you.
So
Thanks. Roll call?
We did a motion? I'm sorry. We did a motion, yeah?
Yep.
Okay. Dr. Pascucci?
Yes.
Mr. Santana?
Yes.
Ms. Weber?
Yes.
Mayor Bontempo?
Yes.
So ordinance 2020-11 has been successfully adopted.
All right. Rather than going to the administrator, could I go to the CFO first?
please do.
And CFO, do you want to roll into your anything you want to do to introduce or talk about the budget? So we can get to the budget hearing.
I can make a couple comments. We did make a presentation at the last meeting. State reviewed the budget and they approved it. We can adopt it if the committee so desires. Again, we're both under both caps. The levy cap are under by $1,618,000 and the appropriation caps I mentioned before are under by $440,000. Tax rate is consistent with last year at 34 cents per hundred. The use of surplus is down. Just for comparative purposes, the last 4 years prior to this, we used like a 99%, 100%, 91%, and 95% of our fund balance. This year, we're using 80.94%. Again, the budget, there was a couple of items where we did not anticipate the full amount of revenue because we would not receive it this year, which is for the municipal court because the activity is way down. Also, we lowered the amount we're going to receive from the pilot anticipated because we're really not sure what the results are going to be for 2020. Collection rate. The collection rate this year as of today is 98.57%. Same time last year was 98.07%. So that's up 0.5% compared to last year. And there was no need to raise the taxes due to the loss of revenues in the 2020 budget. That's my brief comments on the budget.
Thank you. So open up to public comment on the 2020 budget.
Ralph and Jenny Blumenthal.
Hi, guys, just make sure you take your phone off mute. You should be on.
There they go.
I think we lost them.
We did lose them. Oh,
There we go.
Delayed reaction.
Just take yourself, okay. Just state your name and address.
Are they on mute, Carrie?
They're not muted.
You're not muted. Ralph and Jenny, can you hear us?
Are they on phone or computer? Can you tell?
No,
It
they're
looks like computer.
on the computer.
We, I can say the phone number out loud if they want to call in and then press *9. The phone number to dial in. would be-
I have it. You want me to read it, Sean?
Sure.
Okay, the phone number to dial in is 312-626-6799. If you can hear that, Ralph and Jenny, it's 312-626-6799. And if you phone in, you have to hit *9.
And there's a webinar ID and a password. It's complicated. The webinar ID is 895-4550-3632. Again, 895-4550-3632. And the password is 340443. 340443. So if you want to call in, press *9. Is there anybody else while we wait?
No hands are raised. They're back.
Progress?
Hello.
Yeah.
We got you.
Oh,
I've occasionally had this similar problem before. It's the connection between. The computer here is fine, but somehow the world in between sometimes. Anyway, Ralph, 1241 Stony Brook Road. Thank you for the opportunity to ask a couple of questions or groups of questions with regard to the 2020 budget. First of all, as I mentioned, I think at the time the budget was introduced, a question that's been asked a little bit before there with regard to recreation and the fields. There's been a lot of discussion over the years, in recent years especially, about the need for fields, the condition of the fields and the like. And there have been numerous comments or questions made that the conditions of the fields isn't what they need to be. So my question here is how is that reflected in the current budget? Looking at the budget on 15A for DPW, they've got an other category. I don't know what that is. That's going up 200,000. On the other hand, the parks category has an other category and it's going down from 159,000 to 10,000. So I know that Kathy did mention that we've had, since there hasn't been much usage recently and there's been good weather, things have improved. But more generally, what is being done systematically to try to improve the condition of the fields? I do have another set of questions. I don't know if you want to answer them or let me ask the other one as well.
just keep going.
Keep going.
Okay. The other one is more general with regard to the budget. Bill did address the question of tax collection, which is the revenue side, which is most important. And that was good news to hear that the revenues are keeping up. On the other hand, on the expense side, what is happening this year, and this year is an unusual year unfortunately, that is potentially impacting expenses that the township is incurring related directly or even indirectly with regard to the COVID? And those are the two categories of questions I had.
I can answer the one about the COVID. The COVID, we've applied to the county for everything that we have expended thus far, and we're going to receive that money back. So that's a federal program that's being run through the county. That includes anything that we've had to do installing the police at the front door to monitor arrivals, anything to clean the buildings, whether it's disinfectant or whether it's a super clean by an outside company. All that stuff, we put in our first reimbursement from the beginning of March through the end of May, and that's been fully reimbursed. And we anticipate that all the expenses through at least the end of December will be fully reimbursed to us.
What's the magnitude of that? Just ballpark.
I believe it was roughly 70,000 for somewhere in that neighborhood, 70,000 for the first part. A lot of that, again, is we have to have somebody at the front door to monitor the entering and leaving of the building. And the rest of that was for
Not a big event.
I do anticipate that our next request for reimbursement will be much higher. We have to make several accommodations in our parks and at the swim club this year in order to practice safe social distancing and public health. So there's some capital changes that we have to do to make things touchless. We have to hire additional staff. We're hiring additional cleaning at the public facilities. So I do anticipate that our request for reimbursement on the second round will be much greater.
What about changes to the Meridian thing?
Yeah, thank you.
With regard to the fields, there is no capital investment with this budget, and most of the other expenses have remained flat. Any large changes that you saw were either because contracts went up, not because the services are going up, just the cost of the contracts went up, or we might have moved it from one department to another department to be a true reflection. What I will say, generally speaking, in terms of maintenance of the fields, the capital improvements that we've had has made a difference. Phillips Park is winding down. And that's a conversation that this township committee, since I've been on, has emphasized, making sure that we maintain our parks in general. And that's what we're working on with our Department of Public Works to just make sure that we're doing a better job of that. But not necessarily infusing a lot of money into it, just changing our operations in general.
There's no other hands raised, Mayor.
All right, I'll close public comment. Do I have a motion?
Actually, Mayor, if I could hold you up 1 second. Just a little while ago, the committee received by email a resolution to adopt the 2020 budget by title. So I would recommend that be adopted, and then the committee can proceed to act on the budget itself. Again, this is a resolution to read budget by title only pursuant to NJSA 40A:4-8, just a procedural resolution.
Right, my bad. Is there a motion to adopt the resolution?
I would say my bad because I should have jumped on that one. Just
My bad.
my job to say my bad.
Move.
I'd say second.
So roll call on the resolution?
That's correct.
Okay.
Dr. Pascucci?
Yes.
Mr. Santana?
Yes.
Ms. Weber?
Yes.
Mayor Bontempo?
Yes. Now motion on the budget, correct, Counselor?
Yes.
Okay, we have a motion.
Move.
Second.
And on the agenda, this was listed under 2 items, but I think you can move this together. So it's the adoption of the budget and resolution 2020-202 approved same.
Before you take roll, I think the head of our finance committee would like to make just a statement on the budget, please.
Yeah. So just for the sake of the committee and the residents of Holmdel, the Finance Committee met with our Administrator, Sharon Roundtree, and Bill, the CFO, a couple of times. We went through a detailed analysis, an excellent presentation. They looked at the budget, and the chair of the Finance Committee, Zach Gilstein, has issued a statement. I'd like to read the statement, if you don't mind. So quickly. So the Holmdel Finance Committee reviewed the 2020 township budget. We believe it represents the appropriate accounting of the anticipated revenues and expenses and appropriately reflects the current state of the revenue expectation given the COVID situation. Signed, Zach Gilstein, Chair of the Finance Committee.
Thank you, Committeeman.
Yep.
Any other discussion from the Township Committee?
Just one point. I think it's a good budget. People should look at the line items. I want to point out that outside of debt services, the budget actually went down by 0.65%. So it's the debt service for the debt we incurred in 2019 that's brought the debt service costs up. So I just want everybody to go line item by line item and look at them carefully.
Yeah, and before you do roll, I'd just like to say that thank you, Committeeman, and your Finance Committee for taking the time to review. And I know you spent a lot of time with our administrator, our CFO, and your team reviewing this. I think it's a great accomplishment that this committee could put forth for the residents of Holmdel, putting for the fourth consecutive year, a flat budget into the hands of our residents. Times are challenging right now financially for a lot of people. So being able to do this is a major accomplishment. So I want to thank everybody. I know it's Sharon and Bill worked very hard on putting this together. So I know I said when we introduced it a month ago, I want to say it again, thank you for everything that you've done to help create this, because you and your team have done an amazing job for this and for the residents of Holmdel. Thank you. If there's no other comments, Wendy, can you take roll call?
Dr. Pascucci?
Thank everybody. A really great job. Thank you. Yes.
Mr. Santana?
Yes. Thank you, Sharon.
Ms. Weber?
I'd like to say thank you for the user-friendly version of the budget. In all the years that I've attended, it was the first time I could actually read and understand the budget in English. So a resounding yes.
Mayor Bontempo?
Absolutely, yes. Thank you.
Wonderful. The budget was successfully passed.
Thank you. While I'm on departments, CFO, is there anything else you have any updates on this evening?
Nothing that I haven't mentioned already. Thank you.
Okay, thank you. Administrator, anything that you have?
I don't think anything that's not already on the agenda.
Okay. Thank you. Counselor?
No specific updates, but glad to answer any questions the committee may have, Mayor.
Thank you. The engineer is not with us, right? We did not need him this evening.
We didn't need him. If anybody has any questions, I'm happy to answer on his behalf.
Good. Let's roll to boards and committees. Can I start with the deputy mayor this evening?
Thank you. No reports directly from committees. I just want to say thank you to the Recreation Department and Sharon, who have been working on overtime to get our swim club open. I'm looking forward to that, and I think a lot of our residents are as well. So thank you.
Thank you. Committeeman Pascucci?
Nothing, Mr. Mayor. Thank you.
Thank you. Committeeman Santana?
Nothing additional other than our budget meeting with the Finance Committee.
Good. Thank you. I don't have any additional updates. I think I shared an update with the community on Friday. Pool club, recreation, and the administrator is working very hard to get the pool club open right around the corner. We are taking memberships right now and chatting with the team almost every other day, and they are very close to getting the swim club open, which I think is going to be great for the community. That, in addition to what we passed tonight with the drive-in movie, should give our residents some fun things to do in town in a safe, socially distanced environment. And I think it'll be a, considering everything that's been going on, a very nice summer. So I thank the committee for supporting for that this evening. I think it's going to be great for the residents, especially once that large 65 whatever foot screen gets in place, and you sit in your car and you can order food from the building and, have dinner with your family, get out, do a date night, whatever, and just do something different, having to drive very far to have some entertainment outside your house. That's all I have. We can roll right to public comment. Carrie?
No hands up yet.
Okay.
Okay. The first one is Natasha Kostic.
Hi, is this just public comment for general things or still on agenda items?
General things.
Just general. Yep.
Okay, great. Yeah, so this is Natasha Kostic. I live at 8 Sunrise Circle. I was one of the former Holmdel High School students that spoke a few weeks ago, and I just wanted to give you all an update on what we've been working on. So a few Holmdel High School alumni have been talking with students, teachers, and administrators at the schools to see how we can productively work together on helping, adjust and, work on the curriculum so that students have, learn about American history in its full context and understand current events better than maybe they currently do. And we recognize that the Holmdel school system is incredible the way it is, but there always is room for improvement. So tomorrow at the Board of Education meeting, we'll be talking a lot more extensively about some more plans that we have. And I just wanted to let you all know, and anyone else who's listening, I wanted to let them know in case they're interested in hearing what we've been thinking about. And just one more thing, we are hoping to work with parents, teachers, administrators, community members in general to have kind of 3 or a few kind of community engagement Zoom sessions over this summer so that parents can just talk about concerns that they have in regards to education, so that questions can be answered and so that we as a community can just understand better what kind of role Holmdel plays in, in the United States as a whole and in being a more equal place. So we're going to try to get some more information out about that. It'll probably include some sort of panel, which includes current students as well as teachers. And we're looking to bring in an expert speaker on racial justice. So, I'm really looking forward to working with everyone on this. It's not, we really don't want to look like these outsiders coming in. All of us were raised in Holmdel. We really love the town, and we just want to work with everyone to, be even better than we currently are. So I just wanted to give that update, and thank you.
Thank you for your comment.
Next up is Bruce Henderson.
Yes, Bruce Henderson, 11 Bryce Road, Holmdel. Speaking of the recreation department, I just wanted to really give a big recognition to all the work that Bob Ward has done. He's been incredible. I know he's been working really hard on getting the pool club open, coordinating with softball and baseball. We started our practices this week. Couldn't have really done it without him. He was right there hand in hand with us and helping us out through the whole process of getting that started. So just really from a recreation department, just really wanted to give a big recognition to Bob Ward and the great job he did.
Thank you very much.
Without Bob, we wouldn't get this swim club open. He's running around, like Bob and Allison are running around like crazy. I thank them too.
They're doing a lot right now. They really are. Thank you.
There's no other hands up right now, Mayor.
Okay. No other hands. I will close public comment. Do we have a motion to adjourn?
Move.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Guys, have a great night. Thank you for your
Have a
help
good
tonight,
night.
everybody.
Good night.
See
Okay.
everybody
Bye-bye.
at the pool.